When people talk about powerful leaders of the world today, one name often comes to mind. His face is on the news. His speeches are shared around the globe. But long before he became Prime Minister of India, before the crowds, before the cameras, Narendra Modi was just a little boy in a small Indian town. His story is not only about politics. It is about struggle, hope, and the dream of becoming something more than your circumstances. Imagine a boy standing near a railway station. The smell of hot tea fills the air. Trains roar by, full of people traveling to faraway places. This boy is not a passenger. He is a worker. He carries a small kettle, pours tea into clay cups, and serves it to tired travelers. His name is Narendra. At this time, nobody knows that this boy will one day become the leader of the world's largest democracy. Nobody imagines that he will rise so high. Narendra Modi was born in 1950 in a small town called Vadnagar in the state of Gujarat, India. His family was poor. They did not own much. His father ran a tea stall. Life was hard, but there was always work to do. From a very young age, Modi learned the meaning of responsibility. He would wake up early, help his father prepare tea, and then go to school. He was not born into comfort. There were no fancy toys, no big house, no easy path. His childhood was full of struggles, yet it was also full of curiosity. Narendra was always curious. He asked questions, he observed people, and he watched the world with sharp eyes. His teachers often said he was quiet but very determined. Even though his family struggled with money, young Modi was full of dreams. He wanted to serve others. He wanted to live for a bigger cause. But at that time, these were only thoughts in a boy's mind. No one around him could see where those thoughts would lead. One of the strongest images of his childhood is him helping at the railway station. Travelers remember the little boy who sold tea with a smile. He did not complain. He did not feel shame. He worked with dignity. That simple act of helping his father taught him something powerful: no work is small. Every effort has meaning. As he grew older, Modi developed an interest in stories of brave leaders and saints. He read about people who sacrificed their comfort for the nation. These stories moved him deeply. He wanted to be like them. He wanted to give his life to something bigger, but his family expected him to follow a normal path. His parents wanted him to marry young, to settle down, to live a simple life. In fact, as a child, he was engaged to a young girl, following the customs of that time. But deep inside, Modi felt that his life was meant for a different journey. He could not see himself living quietly when his heart wanted to serve his country, so, as a teenager, he made a bold choice. He left home. He walked away from family expectations and set out on a path of discovery. For 2 years, he traveled across India. He visited temples, he met saints, he stayed in the Himalayas, and he searched for meaning. These were not easy years. Sometimes he had little food. Sometimes he had no place to sleep. But he was learning. He was shaping his mind. He was training his spirit. After his travels, Modi returned to Gujarat with a stronger sense of purpose. He joined an organization called the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or RSS. It was a volunteer group that believed in discipline, service, and building the nation. Modi threw himself into this work. He swept the floors, arranged chairs, cooked meals, and also spoke with people about the country's future. This is where his leadership began to show. He was not born into a political family. He had no rich connections. But he had energy, discipline, and passion. Slowly, the senior leaders noticed him. They saw how hardworking he was. They gave him more responsibility. At the same time, Modi continued to study. He took distance courses and completed his education, even while working for the RSS. His hunger to learn never stopped. Whether it was books, speeches, or conversations, he absorbed knowledge like a sponge. Life in the RSS was strict. There were early morning drills, meetings, and constant travel. Modi would ride on buses, sleep in small rooms, and eat simple meals. But none of this bothered him. In fact, he enjoyed it. He felt alive when he was serving others. In those years, India was going through many changes. There were political struggles, economic problems, and social conflicts. Modi was in the middle of it all, observing, learning, and shaping his own ideas about leadership. People began to notice his skill in organizing. He could manage large gatherings. He could speak in simple language that touched ordinary people. And most importantly, he never seemed tired. He had endless energy. Slowly, he was moved from small tasks to bigger responsibilities. He organized events in towns. He worked with youth. He began to speak more often in public. And little by little, a new image was forming, the image of a leader. But becoming a leader in India is not easy. There are thousands of voices, thousands of struggles, and countless challenges. Modi faced criticism. Some said he was too strict. Some said he was too ambitious. But he did not stop. He believed in his path. Every evening, when the work of the day was done, he would often sit alone and reflect. He would think about his childhood, the railway station, the tea stall, his travels, his service. He knew all those experiences were shaping him for something greater. By the late 1980s, Modi had become an important figure in the Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP. He was trusted with more responsibilities. He was sent to handle campaigns, to organize movements, and to build the party's presence in different regions. His hard work was paying off, but with every rise comes a test. And Modi's biggest test was yet to come. The events of the 1990s would change his life forever. The little boy who once sold tea at a railway station was now stepping into the heated world of Indian politics. The journey ahead would not be easy. It would be filled with storms, challenges, and controversies. But it would also open the door to the highest office in the land. The boy from Vadnagar was ready to become something more. But how? And at what cost? Now, the story takes a sharp turn. The boy has grown into a man. And the man is ready to face the storm of politics. By the 1990s, Narendra Modi was no longer just a volunteer. He had become an organizer, a planner, and a strategist. In the Bharatiya Janata Party, leaders began to trust him with important work. His sharp mind and endless energy made him different from many others. He was not from a powerful family. He did not have money. He did not have famous relatives. But he had discipline. And in politics, discipline is rare. Modi could work for long hours without rest. He could plan events down to the smallest detail. And when he spoke, people listened. His words were simple, but they touched hearts. In Gujarat, his home state, politics was changing fast. The BJP was trying to build its presence, and Modi was deeply involved. He traveled from village to village, talking to people, understanding their struggles, and building connections. He worked behind the scenes, making sure campaigns were strong and well organized. Then, in 2001, everything changed. A massive earthquake struck Gujarat. Thousands of people died. Entire towns were destroyed. The state needed strong leadership, and at that time, the BJP made a bold decision. They chose Narendra Modi as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. It was a shocking choice for many. Modi had never held a government post before. He was not an elected leader. But the party believed in him. They thought his energy and discipline could guide the state in its darkest hour. When Modi took charge, Gujarat was broken. People were suffering. Homes were gone. Lives were shattered. The world was watching. Would this man, with no experience in government, be able to handle such a disaster? Modi worked day and night. He visited villages. He spoke with survivors. He pushed the administration to rebuild quickly. Slowly, Gujarat began to rise again. Roads were rebuilt, homes were made, industries came back. Modi showed that he could handle crisis with determination. But soon, another storm hit. In 2002, riots broke out in Gujarat after a tragic incident. Hundreds of people lost their lives. The violence left scars that would never fully heal. Modi was accused of not doing enough to stop the riots. Many critics blamed him. For years, this controversy followed him, both in India and abroad. It was the hardest period of his career. Some wanted him to resign. Some believed his political life was finished. But Modi refused to step back. He said his focus would remain on development, on rebuilding Gujarat, on moving forward, and move forward he did. Over the next decade, Gujarat became known as a fast-growing state. New industries came in. Roads and electricity reached more villages. The economy improved. Supporters praised Modi as a leader who could get things done. They said he was a man of action, not just words. At the same time, his critics never stopped questioning him about the riots. For them, the wounds were too deep to ignore. This made Modi a polarizing figure. Some saw him as a hero of development. Others saw him as a leader with a dark shadow, but in politics, perception matters. And slowly, Modi's image as a strong, decisive leader began to grow across India. He spoke about development, about jobs, about progress. His speeches were fiery, his energy was unmatched, and his story, from a tea seller's son to a chief minister, captured people's imagination. By 2013, the BJP was searching for a leader who could challenge the ruling party at the national level. India was facing economic slowdown, corruption scandals, and public frustration. People were hungry for change. The BJP chose Narendra Modi as their candidate for Prime Minister. It was a risky choice. Modi was popular in Gujarat, but could he win the hearts of the whole nation? Could a man with such a controversial past lead India? The 2014 election campaign was unlike any before. Modi traveled across the country, speaking at rallies, connecting with people, and sharing his vision. He promised development. He promised jobs. He promised to make India strong. His slogan became famous, "Ek Din," which means good days. People responded with excitement. They saw in him not just a politician, but a man who had risen from poverty, who knew their struggles, who had lived the life of ordinary Indians. His story gave him power. His speeches gave him fire. When the results came, it was historic. The BJP won a massive majority, and Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister of India. For the first time in history, a tea seller's son had reached the highest office in the land. The boy from the railway station was now leading a nation of more than 1 billion people. As Prime Minister, Modi brought his same energy and discipline to Delhi. He launched programs to build toilets, to open bank accounts for the poor, to bring electricity to villages, to digitalize the economy. He spoke about making India stronger on the world stage. He hugged world leaders, gave powerful speeches, and became one of the most recognized faces on the global scene. Of course, his journey was not without challenges. Decisions like demonetization in 2016 brought both praise and criticism. Some said it was bold. Others said it hurt the economy. His policies often divided opinion, but his popularity remained strong. In 2019, Modi was re-elected with an even bigger majority. His supporters saw him as a leader who was tough, determined, and focused on national pride. His critics continued to question his methods and decisions. But no matter which side people stood on, one thing was clear: Narendra Modi had changed Indian politics forever. His story is not just about politics. It is about how far a person can go when they refuse to give up. It is about the strength of discipline, the power of hard work, and the courage to follow one's path, even when the world doubts you. Think about it. A boy who once sold tea at a railway station, who walked miles with a kettle in his hand, now speaks in front of the United Nations. He sits with presidents and kings. His journey reminds us that where you begin does not decide where you end. Narendra Modi's life teaches us that dreams are not limited by birth. They are powered by determination. His story continues to unfold as India grows, as challenges rise, and as the world changes. But the boy from Vadnagar will always remain a symbol of how far the human spirit can travel. So next time you hear his name, remember the little boy at the railway station. Remember the tea seller who dreamed big. And remember that stories like these are not only about leaders, but also about the possibilities inside each of us. Did this story inspire you? Did it make you think about your own journey and your own dreams? I share stories like this every day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.